Hello, can you hear me now? Okay. It was one, I'm sorry. It was one of those situations where I had it all set up and then it just went. And so, when in doubt, just unplug and replug back in or reboot. I didn't have to reboot, but I had to unplug the camera and audio. This storm hasn't given me enough time to put it all there like I want to. So there you go. That's what I was saying when you couldn't hear me right there. Those symbols. That's what I was saying. Now that we're back, thank you all for being patient and staying with me. Technical difficulties. Not like I haven't been through those before. Okay, so let's get to what's at hand. I don't want to waste your time. It's Valentine's Day, and I hope that you're having a good one, and I hope that you're, spending time with the one you love, and you may be spending more time with the one you love, maybe more than you want to in some cases over the few days. Not a lot has changed with this winter storm coming in. The timing of it is still intact. We are still calling for a lot of snow. I will tell you that the number of sleet and ice at the beginning of this have come down, which means there's more opportunity for snow. I talked to you on the last two videos if you watched. I said that the thing to watch for is how the ice or the mix of sleet and free rain versus the snow is going to play out. And remember that bust factor, those little broken lines that I showed you where it said, because of ice versus less ice, but if you show more ice at the beginning of this onset of this system, then that's going to cut down on the snow totals. Well, it looks like things are now going to be more snowy and less icy, which is certainly good news. So I see some of you are like your shovel. Yeah, well, I posted something a couple of hours ago where I went to the store and bought a shovel. The last one at Meijer, and I had to buy the more expensive big one. It's more of I don't know if it's a pooper scooper or what, but I told somebody at church this morning, if the forecast goes wrong, that's what I'll be shoveling, not snow. So I've done it before. Okay. Yeah, this does look to be more of a snow producer than anything else. That's not to say that we won't have a period later this evening and into tomorrow, especially that it could be more snow. There could still that placement of somebody getting some rain, freezing rain, sleet mixed in, but it doesn't look quite as in that regard as far as getting the frozen stuff, the mixture. The snow part, yeah, it does. It's right on track. Nothing has changed. We'll look at it right now as we look at the very latest information from the National Weather Service. Here, the winter storm warning, which has been expanded further south into Tennessee, as I mentioned. All of this starts tonight, goes through Tuesday morning. And as you can see, it stretches far beyond our area. The Jackson, Kentucky Weather Office added deep purple shaded counties to the east. That's where they're going to get purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Ice storm warning. That's the way it looks on the radar too, purple. So ice storm warning in that extreme part, and that's over toward Pikeville. That's where they're going to get very thick icing. And remember yesterday when we looked at this map, and I said that the models keep shunning the potential ice further east, and so that's what's happening. And this is playing out to that. So ice storm warnings there. Those are areas that didn't get in on, some of those areas didn't get in on the ice on Thursday, so now they're going to get it this time. But we are still under the winter storm warning, all the pink shaded counties, until Tuesday. Greatest potential for significant ice. They're still saying east of a line from Tompkinsville to Richmond, Kentucky, but then is kind of borderline. I still think the greatest areas of ice are going to be over into far, far southeastern Kentucky. Greatest potential for significant snow, southern Indiana, much of central Kentucky, that includes us. Power outages possible due to snow and previous icings. You got to understand that there's a few of you out there that are still contending with ice on the trees and the power lines. Thursday's ice storm, and we're going to add additional weight of maybe a little glaze of ice, but a lot of snow on top of that. And do foresee more power outages happening. What we don't know, again, we were hoping for something more exact, but the exact amounts and precipitation types at any given location, we still don't know that. You say, why? It's going to night. Well, this is going to be a long stretched out wave, actually a couple of waves. One wave coming in tonight, kind of the lighter side or the beginning of this, and then the heavier stuff comes late tomorrow, Monday night into Tuesday. So with those two waves, with this one storm, it's kind of difficult to just exactly, and at church this, so how much snow are we going to get? How much snow? And every time I would say, look, it's not, we're going to get a lot of snow. Just how much is hard to say, but it's about this right here. Remember, this is what I like to focus on. Impact. And there's going to be several impacts on travel and how you do business. Schools, I'm sure, are already calling off. There's going to be a lot of disruption in everyday life for tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is President's, so there will be a lot of things that were going to be closed anyway. But for those of you that do go to work and you don't get President's Day off, it's still going to be, you still might get out of work. It's just up to each individual area. But the confidence level in impacts is very high. Confidence level on precip types, medium to high, and that's where that contamination of freezing rain and sleet comes in and may cut down on snow totals. So that's why it's very hard to give an exact on everything. Confidence level on precipitation, again, medium to high. Now, the timing tonight and Monday morning for 9 a.m. This is all based on Eastern time since this comes out of Louisville. So 9 a.m. Monday, wintry mix moves in, sunset this evening. So in a few hours, we'll begin to see some moisture beginning to move in. As far as what type, snow across southern and northern Kentucky, north of the parkways. Again, when they say the parkways, western Kentucky and bluegrass parkways, and then a wintry mix south of the parkways, which would be mostly us in southern Kentucky in the 100.7 listening area. Freezing rain toward the Lake Cumberland region. Okay, on the eastern edge of this is where mostly freezing rain and sleet is going to happen. Now here In Bowling Green so far today, we've seen a little bit of light snow. So we either light snow, or as that warm air layer tries to intrude and overrun the cold air near the ground, that's where we could see a little bit of for this evening. But it all becomes snow later on. So here we go. Monday late morning into early afternoon, snow or a wintry mix becomes very light. May even see some brief breaks in precipitation. This is what this is telling you is here's the first wave coming in tonight. Here is the break between wave number 1 and the much stronger wave number 2, which is going to come more Monday afternoon and night. This is the difference in timing from what I was showing you yesterday or even the day before. It does look like there will be a little bit of a dry slot between this first wave tonight, which is not going to be all that heavy, and the really heavy stuff that's going to come in tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. Light freezing drizzle or rain persists Lake Cumberland region. So you're going to add to the glaze down in the Lake Cumberland region or out the Cumberland Parkway east. All right, so Monday afternoon and Monday night, notice here they put most impactful time frame. They even redlined it here so that we would know Monday afternoon and Monday night is when the really heavy stuff comes in. Yes, it has slowed down a bit. It helps us to see that there are two pieces to this storm. We thought it was going to be one big. It is a big event, but it's almost like it's in a part A and a part B. So part B is actually going to be the stronger end of this system. Monday afternoon and Monday night, we're talking about starting tomorrow afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock, all the way up until early Tuesday. Snow northwest of the parkways, wintry mix to the east, gradually transitioning to snow. Heavy snow most likely along west of the parkways, western Kentucky, the Bluegrass Parkway. Snow rate still looking at exceeding an inch an hour. Travel could become treacherous at times. Monday rush hour significantly impacted. Now, you say, no, wait a minute, they didn't include us. It includes us. I'll show you on the map because we're the ones that are going to get hammered. Okay. Remember, this forecast comes out of the Louisville National Weather Service office, so it kind of leans toward them in that area. We're on the southern edge of it. We're really more into the Weather Service office, but that's how they've got it laid out. Early Tuesday morning, snow tapering down, moving off to the northeast, and then very cold. We discussed this yesterday about how cold it's going to get. Temperatures during the day Tuesday only in the 20s, and Tuesday night single digits to teens. Not written here, wind chills are going to be near 0 or even below 0 at times on Tuesday. Falls is going to stick and stay. Timing confidence is high right now. So we got our timing down. Tonight will be part storm. You could see a little variety of precipitation. It's not going to be the worst of it, but bad enough, as you saw some of you last night, picked up enough freezing and a little bit of light snow, or it wasn't really freezing rain, it was freezing drizzle. And it froze on the roadways and it caused some very slick travel. On Allen County and Barron County, Monroe County, even here in Bowling Green, there was some patchy or areas of patchy ice that formed after dark last night because of that little bit of patchy drizzle and some light snow flurries. And because we are that cold, that could happen again, but a little more so as we get into the day on Monday with part A of the storm, which is this part here. As we get into part B of the storm, that's when the precipitation is going to be more persistent and heavier. Snow rates exceeding an inch. And what does it mean? Well, here we go with forecast accumulations. All right. And yesterday we were not yellow zone, but we are now. So here we go. You can almost draw a line from I-65 from Louisville through E-Town to Bowling Green to Nashville even. And you can see we're in that best zone for seeing potentially 6 to 8 inches of snow. From starting tonight lightly in the part A of the storm, but part B is where this is really going to hit Monday night, tomorrow night, and into Tuesday. Okay. And when it comes, it's going to come down pretty good. Low visibility where you can't see to drive. And then with some ice on the road, that's going to make it even worse. So we were more into this blue, this dark blue area here yesterday. Now that's been shoved a little further east to include places like Glasgow and Barron County, maybe on over to Metcalfe County, but east of Metcalfe County, out Cumberland Parkway, it's more into the 4 to 6. But I mean, you guys know, even around here, 2 to 4 inches is almost paralyzing. I mean, because we just don't have those that often. So when it does happen, oh my goodness, and everybody just stops. Well, it's going to be like that. It's going to be, you know, the 6 inches here for Bowling Green and north and west along there's the Western Kentucky Parkway. There's I-165, the Natcher. There's the Pennyrile or I-69. Then there's the Bluegrass Parkway from E-Town to Lexington. All in between, this is where we're at the potential, not the guarantee, but the potential for 6 to 8 inches. Now, one of the other things I got at church this morning, look at that map, was, you know, just like I was telling you guys yesterday. Yes, this happens at church too. And people know me. But you know what? We're all sinners. And they asked me, they come up to me and I said, or they said, but the Weather Channel is saying like 12 inches. And one guy said 14. And I said, well, you know, what are you doing watching them? I mean, you know, you trust what I say. Go to the altar. Go to the altar and repent right now. They kid me at church. Even my pastor talked about me this morning in his sermon. And I just so happened that I was running sound this morning. And you know what I did? You know what I did to old Pastor Steve Ayers, Hillview Heights? I shut his mic off. It was awesome. I did it right there in the middle of his sermon. I just went poof, as he was trying to tell me how bad I was at forecasting. So I just shut him off right in the middle of the service. That's how we roll at Hillview. It was okay. But anyway, getting back to this, it was awesome. So we've got to be careful. My point is we got to be careful of what we're seeing out there. And I've warned you before that there are going to be these glorified maps from different forecasters, and some of them are going to be overboard, way overachieving. We got to remember where we are. We're in southern Kentucky, north of the Gulf of Mexico, and we don't get snows of this magnitude that often. When we do, it has to be the classic snow setup. This one is the classic setup where in times that you remember before, maybe some of you, you know, that and say, when I was a kid, I thought we got a lot more snows than we do now. No, it's just your short-term memory. You don't remember them. You can go 2014, you can go 20, you can go 96, you can go 94. That was also an ice storm plus big snow. And I can go through the 80s and I can go through the 60s, and it's just one after the other, but we don't get them that much. So in everyone's mind, when we see this, we're like, oh, it's either you've got two sides here. You got one that says, it's not going to happen. They're just blowing it up. And the other ones are like just panic mode. Both are not good to get into. This does look like that we're going to be on the conservative side. If we had their line, remember that yesterday, if you were watching the black outline, that's the area where we could have enough contamination of freezing rain and sleet before the snow that could bring down these numbers just a bit. But I think even on the conservative side of things, we get at least 4 inches of snow. Okay, for pretty much the Bowling Green area, beyond the border, west over Hopkinsville, and east, I would say, pretty much out the Cumberland Parkway before you get to Merced. Now, the further east you go, is that more possibility of contamination of freezing rain and sleet and less snow. From yellow to dark blue to light blue to lighter blue, so forth and so on. Where there, you may only get a couple of inches of snow after getting a lot of freezing rain and sleet. So that's why they drew that black line there. But if this thing overachieves and it's more about snow than frozen or the mixed precipitation, then yeah, I mean, maybe 6 is possible, maybe 7, maybe 8. Could even see more than that. Hello, hello. Ah, ah. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry, folks. This is so embarrassing. Okay, where was I? Tuesday night, cold and cloudy, lows in the single digits and teens, highs in the 20s. Wednesday night and Thursday night, slow, snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain possible in the region. Lots of uncertainty in exact precipitation type with this setup, that storm. More rain in eastern Kentucky, some precipitation locally heavy, which is going to give rise to flooding. Eastern Kentucky always is prone to that, especially when you start to get any kind of melting or rain on top of frozen ground. The drains are all clogged up with ice. That's not a good setup. Friday, cloudy with isolated snow showers, still cold, wind chills in the teens. Next weekend, slightly warmer, and that's going to melt everything. Possible river flooding, especially in eastern Kentucky. And it does look like that will be more warm. A lot more warm air is going to come in as we get in next weekend. Gosh, I'm sorry for all the technical stuff here. I just when I have to put this together exactly the way I want it put together, it's going to be great. It's just getting through this. And those I figured out what the little chops where you see me talking, then all of a sudden, and you hear me cutting out. That's my Wi-Fi. So what I'm going to do is make a direct link into my Cat 5 right direct into my internet, and that should cut that out. But I haven't had time to work on that. So, all right, this is so we've got. I also wanted to warn you guys, my friends at the American Red Cross, and many of you know about my wife Sheila, who recently had knee surgery. She's doing well. She's in the living room back there watching me listen. She's quality control for this episode. She was the one that told me, "Can't hear you. Microphone went off again." So but anyway, she's doing well. Rehab is doing well. I mean, she's doing physical therapy, getting around and stuff, and she rings her little bell, and then I come running. And did you say something? I'm almost finished. But anyway, my wife works at the American Red Cross here in Southern Kentucky. She's been there for over 20 years. And she's still doing some work from home, even while she's out starting to with her knee. But her office wanted to remind you that we've got to be very careful during these times when we've got a lot of alternative sources of heat going on, whether you've got a kerosene heater or you've got a fireplace or stuff, because way too many times when people are, sheltering at home during an ice storm or during a winter storm, things can go crazy with that stuff. Kerosene fumes can do a number. If you get something too close, like a blanket or a sheet or curtains or something, you've got that heater too close, that can start a fire. Just make sure you've got a fire extinguisher or working extinguisher close by, and you don't put your heat sources close to anything like that. Keep the kids away from it, the pets and everything else, and check on your pets too. Make sure that they're taken care of outside as well, because they're not going to have that regular source of food and water, fresh water that's not frozen, if they're outside during this kind of a winter storm. So that's good advice. Let's just make sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do. and you sense, and it's almost like, really, do you have to say that? I would rather not. I would, I'm one of those people, I'll just be honest with you. I'd not, sometimes I felt when I was doing it before on television, I'm telling people that should know better. Like, don't you know that can catch fire if you get it too close to something? Don't you know that your pets outside need fresh water and food, even in the snow? Not just you, but don't you know? As you have seen, I mean, newscasts are full of stupid people that just apparently have no sense at all. And how to drive? Hey, if you're not confident at all about getting in a vehicle on any kind of frozen precipitation, do it. I mean, even if you say, I gotta do it. No, you don't. This is America. It's a free country. Still is. Last time I checked. That's what back when I caught so much grief about, Chris Ellen has canceled Halloween. Remember that a few years ago? What a fiasco. It was like, because we had severe weather, I said, maybe it's not a good idea, but you do what you want to do. And then all suggested time trick-or-treating and all that kind of stuff. I said, look, this is still America. Go and trick-or-treat. It doesn't have to be on Halloween. It can be on a nice day when your kids are going to be safe and you're not going to have to worry about the weather. Well, I caught all kinds of grief from that. You're trying to change Halloween. You're trying to change Christmas. You're trying to, no, I'm just saying, it's up to you. You're an American. This is America. You celebrate anytime you want and how you want to. You don't have to have other people telling you what to do. And when I give you some advice here, that's what it is, advice. But sometimes I feel like, really, I've got to tell people over and over again to not put a heat source next to a curtain or a neck cloth, or, yeah, I guess I do. So anyway, that being said, let's open it up for question chat open here. So let me put it in where you can see it, and we'll take off and go with your questions here at 4:42. So I've been here 42. Try not to run over an hour with this thing, but I just get to talking and I forget how time is clicking by. Just give me your questions or comments, and I'll go through them. If you need to know something, let me scroll down. Okay. Okay, there's John. Keep doing what you're doing. You're okay. Thank you. That. Let's see here. I'm looking for questions. Oh, here's Loretta. Chris, did your cats unplug something? We lost you. No, you know what? They haven't bothered me since I've done these. I keep expecting, especially Callie, to come in here, because usually when I'm here working at the desk, she'll meow, 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 and I can't get anything done. Like, what do you want? And she wants me to pick her up and hold her and rub on her and love on her, and then she's fine. Then about 10, 15 minutes later, here she comes again. So no, they didn't do it. It's my fault. All of it's my fault. Can you see how red I am? I'm embarrassed because I'm a very technical guy and I love this stuff. That's why I've hooked it all up, but I just haven't spent quality time putting it together like I should. I promise maybe between this storm and the next one, I'll have that time to do it. Right. Hey, we're just here to have fun and learn something anyway. This is television. Thank God it's not television. All right. So your question's coming in now. See, if I were to do TV, I would do it this way. Open, free. We just chat back and forth, have a good time around a little bit. I know that's not what TV is, but all right, let's take a question here. Dakota, snow or ice expected for Edmonton? Well, I will tell you this, as I told everybody that was watching yesterday, I can't do every town and every community and every county. I will just say that every city, every town, every county in Kentucky is going to get some measure of snow. On the low side, I think at least 4 inches. On the high side, maybe closer to 6, 7, 8. Oh, oh, there it goes. It's like, oh man, certainly not my most embarrassing ever, but okay. So let's see. It's okay. Okay, there we go. Now, if I hold my thumb down on this